welcome my dear sweet friends to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy and my husband is Paul. We are so happy you have joined us today. Spring has finally arrived in New York. I haven't been posting a lot of nature footage lately because basically everything is just gray. But today we're actually seeing some life coming up out of the ground. It's drizzly, it's rainy, but that's okay. And I just wanted to share what March looks like here in New York. So not a whole lot going on, but hopefully soon everything will burst into life again. We hope this video finds you well. We hope this video finds you safe. Today, we're going to go back in time again, just a little bit, to the 1940s. We're going to talk about the old saying. Now, some say it came from the Depression, some say it came from World War II, and some said it goes back to as far as the 1700s. And you know what I'm talking about. Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. We're going to dive into that a little deeper today. What does it mean and how can we truly implement it in today's times? Then I am going to do a cookbook review on a new cookbook I got, the Alice Bradley Menu Cookbook from 1944. I'm going to show you it, I'm going to talk about it, and then we're going to create a dish from it. So basically what we're going to do is try to take the wisdom of the 1940s and apply it to what's going on today. The higher prices, the inflation, us learning to cut back, us learning to do without some items right now. So we hope this video is encouraging and maybe you can leave taking a little gold nugget from it. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and come on in. Be part of our frugal family. We are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. Basically, we show you how to have a full, abundant life while spending less money. So how can that be a bad thing, right? So let's get right to this video. The first topic we're going to talk about is use it up. Now that's pretty self-explanatory, you would think, but let's take it a step further. Basically, what we're saying is we are going to stop wasting items. We are going to use it up, whether it be food, whether it be clothing, whatever it is. We need to stop wasting items. We need to learn how, at this point, to mix food items. We have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but we're going to create a whole new meal out of it. Don't throw a container away until it is fully empty. I have you wonderful viewers telling me where you have opened up toothpaste containers, makeup tubes. There are little tiny spatulas you can buy to get into every corner of a jar or a bottle so as not to waste. So many times we look at something and we're like, it's done, and we toss it. But yet there's still so much that remains in that vessel. Also with the food, we need to use up what we bring into the home. Whatever food we're bringing in, use it up. Do not buy things just because they are a good value if you're not going to eat them and you're going to throw them away. That's a total waste of money. So the first thing is use it up. Second one is wear it out. That goes for everything from appliances to cell phones to clothing. Use it till it can't be used anymore. You lose a button on a shirt. Back in the 40s, they would sew that button on. Proof. When my mom passed, one of the things I took from her home was her button tin. Look at these. Oh my goodness. There are hundreds of buttons in here. Every color, every shape, and every size. Why? Because my mom grew up in the Depression. And there was no way that she was going to buy a new shirt if she lost a button, or my dad, or one of us. Somewhere in the recesses of this can was a button that closely matched the button we lost. And she would sew it on. How often do we do that now? Does anybody even have a button jar in the house anymore? We need to learn to wear it out. This is also where buying higher quality items sometimes is a great way to wear it out. In other words, you may pay a little more for something, but it will last longer and it will produce better for you in the long run. Mending socks if it has a hole in it. How many of us mend socks? No, you throw them out. We need to get back to figuring out ways to make things last longer, to use them till they wear out. Jeans now have become fashionable with holes in them, but I remember growing up in the 70s and 80s, my mom would patch my jeans, and they were my favorite ones. They were so cool. Now we just leave the rips in them, and you can even buy jeans with rips in them that cost 10 times more than if we would have put the rips in there ourselves. And what happens, let's say, to a piece of clothing once that piece of clothing is worn out? It then becomes a rag and we continue to use it. That one t-shirt gave us a lot of rags. We used it up. We really need to start wearing out what we have before we buy something new. The next one is make it do. Be content with what you have. Your Roomba breaks? How about a good old-fashioned broom? How many of you have a broom in your kitchen? Your cell phone is several years old, but it still works perfectly fine? Make it do. We don't need the biggest and best of everything all the time. And they knew that back then. They were aware of that. They only had so much, and what they had was it. We don't always need to run out and buy the biggest and newest and brightest. It's not going to perform much better than what we already have. And that is the truth. You know the old adage, don't fix it if it's not broken. And that is the truth when it comes to make do. Look at something and repurpose it. When Paul showed you our container gardens, we went to the grocery store bakery, asked for food safe icing buckets. We kept those out of a landfill. They are now serving us year after year. Look at something. How can I use it in another way? What can I do with this? And the last one is basically do without. How many times do we actually do without? No, we are a society. I want it, I'm going to go buy it. I think I need it, I'm going to go buy it. We need to remember a want and a need are two different things. And sometimes we just have to do without. And we need to get the right mindset when we say do without. You never do without something that is a necessity. Food, medicine, things like that. I'm talking about the little extras here. And we need to remember to tell ourselves it's not that we can't have it. And I've said this before, it's that I don't want it. I don't want it. And that will change the whole mindset of how you look at do without. Because it's not so much deprivation as it's a choice I'm making. I am going to do without this. I really don't need it. But back in the 40s, that was not always the case. They literally could not buy it. It wasn't allowed to be bought when rationing came about. This is enough. You can only have so much sugar. You could only have so much meat. But we are such an instant gratification type society now. We don't even know how to be patient and wait anymore. Now, what I'm going to do is show you the new cookbook I got. Now, I am not recommending that you run out and buy any of these cookbooks I show you. They actually can be very, very expensive, as vintage cookbooks seem to be in high demand right now. So what I will tell you to do is try your library first. And if you can't find them at the library, hold on till you find them at a flea market cheap or a tag sale. And the other thing is, ask relatives. Maybe they have some older cookbooks that they'd be willing to share with you. Or if you have them, go in, pull them back out, revisit them. A wealth of information. But do not, in any way, shape, or form, pay high prices for these cookbooks, because you can get a lot of the information online as well. So let's turn the camera around and take a peek at this cookbook. I wanted to share with you today the Alice Bradley Menu Cookbook. One of my viewers had said she had this book and loved it. So I looked online. It was so expensive. It was like $34. Happened to check a site called Albris, Albris, and they sell books as well. And lo and behold, it was there for $9. So I grabbed it. This is a cookbook from 1944. So World War II was going on. What it is menus, marketing lists, and recipes. What about this? A post-honeymoon gift, August 1944, from Jackie. Here's to many a happy culinary experiences. I love when books have that. The first section of the book is wartime cookery. And it says as we go to press, rationed food includes sugar, coffee, canned fruits and vegetables, canned and dried soups, meat, fresh and canned, cheese, fish, canned, butter, margarine, lard, and other cooking fats and oils. Cream is thin instead of thick and heavy. Milk, evaporated, condensed, or dried, may have to replace fresh milk more often, and all may be rationed later. Spices, flavorings, tea, cocoa, chocolate, and some other accessories and condiments may be difficult to obtain. This means that some of the market orders, menus, and recipes in this book cannot be used just as they are for the duration or longer. More than ever is the housewife's ingenuity taxed to provide nourishing and attractive meals for her family. Then what they do is to go on and take each wartime rationed ingredients such as sugar, canned vegetables, dried vegetables, and they tell you how to go about doing without meats, fish, butter, and fats, all the rationed ingredients, and what you can use in place. So this is all very, very useful information for what is going on with us right now with the very high prices that we're seeing in the food stores. At the beginning of every week, what the book gives you is a market order for Sunday and the following week. So it would list everything you need for the following week's menu. On the first day of the week and thereafter, any supplies you would need to be picked up that day. We don't have to do that now. We can do all our shopping in 1 week, and every day it does the same. So it's actually a really, really neat cookbook. So what this book does is it takes every week of every month is it breaks it down for you. This is the 5th week of March on a Friday. They're telling you what your menu is for this day, what you need to make sure you have from the market, and then the recipes included. So today they're having stewed figs, muffets. I'm going to have to look that up. Toasted tomato bread, then luncheon they're having corn chowder with crackers, pickles, apple fritters, lemon sauce. Dinner is tomato juice with lemon, fried oysters, cosmopolitan sauce, lima beans, shredded salad greens, French dressing with mustard, and ginger parfait. We're going to make the corn chowder from this book today, and we're going to see how it comes out. Now, they served it with crackers, which we have. We have pickles. Let's recreate one of these meals and see how it comes out. An amazing cookbook. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying when you use the older cookbooks, make sure you use today's modern food safety, handling, prep, and storage. Now let's get into the kitchen, recreate one of the meals in this cookbook. So come on in the kitchen with Paul and I. So we're in the kitchen now, and we're going to create the luncheon menu for Friday, the 5th week of March. I found out what muffets were. They are wheat biscuits that you would eat for cereal. I'm thinking kind of like probably a shredded wheat, only large. I looked it up, and that's exactly what it is. So wheat biscuits. We're going to do the luncheon menu. So the first thing we're going to make is the corn chowder, which is right here. And for the corn chowder, it says, make it like the parsnip chowder. Only use 1.5 cups corn and 2 tablespoons of chopped green pepper instead of parsnips. Now we flipped over to the parsnip chowder. First thing we have to do is try out. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm loving this. Try out 2.5 tablespoons fat salt pork. Now I'm using bacon because I do not have fat salt pork. So I fried 2 pieces of bacon. Let's look at our ingredients. I've got the 2 pieces of bacon that I'm subbing out for the salt pork. I have the 2 slices of onions that we chopped fine. I took 8 saltine crackers and crushed them in a plastic bag with a rolling pin. And now I have fine crumbs. I'm thinking that's to thicken it, but we'll see. I kept the bacon grease that the bacon produced. We've got a little over 1.5 cups of diced potatoes. And then I have a package of corn, I just opened it now, that we food saver sealed back in May of last year. So this needs to be used. So these are our ingredients, they're assembled. Let's get to work. In this pot, I put the bacon grease and I'm gonna add the onions. Now I'm using red onions because that's what I have. Remember, improvise, improvise, improvise. And we're going to cook these down for about 5 minutes. We gently sauteed the onions for about 5 minutes. Now we're going to add the potatoes. It says to layer potatoes, corn, but I think we can just do it like this. And I also defrosted the corn, and we put that in now. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. And it says to add black ground pepper as well. And then it says to add 1.5 cups of boiling water, which I just boiled this in my tea kettle. I'm going to mix this all together. And it says cook them until the vegetables are tender. I am going to assume that would be about 15 minutes. So I'm going to cover this, put it on medium heat, and let it cook for 15 minutes. This cooked for just about 12 minutes. I tasted the potatoes and they are soft. Now it says to add 2 cups of scalded milk and 2 tablespoons of butter. I looked up and saw whether I really had to scald the milk. And it said a lot of times in old recipes, they would tell you to scald the milk because it wasn't pasteurized. But our milk today that we use here in the house is pasteurized. So I didn't scald it. I just added 2 cups of regular milk and 2 tablespoons of butter. And now it also says to add the 1/4 cup of cracker crumbs. You know what? We're doing this. I hope it's good. How bad can it be, right? Honestly. And now it just says to heat this through. And that's what we're going to do. We heated the soup through. It came to a nice simmer. And what I did was I just added the bacon that we had cooked earlier for the bacon fat. And I put that on top. We have our crackers and we have our pickles. It looks and smells delicious. Paul is actually going to take a taste for you. I want to see his reactions with the addition of the cracker crumbs. I'm wondering if that's going to make it grainy or just thickened it. I don't know, but Paul's going to be a trooper and test it. All right, babe.
Here we go. Corn soup? Corn chowder soup?
Chowder soup from 1940.
Corn chowder soup from 1940. Yeah, it's good. Wow. First of all, it's got potatoes in it, which are fantastic. Corn, which you know I like corn. And the bacon just sends it up over the edge. Yeah, no, this is a delicious meal, and it was easy to make.
What about the cracker crumbs? Are you feeling any weirdness there?
No, I don't notice any cracker crumbs. No, not at all. Wow.
So it is a really good corn chowder.
Yeah, this is fantastic. You know what? You couldn't get this out of a can. You really could.
There you go.
Homemade, frugal, delicious. You got to try it.
All right. The soup was outstanding. With the crackers and the pickles. I don't know why, but those pickles really added to the whole meal. It was a light dinner. It was delicious. I cannot recommend it enough. These recipes are so relevant for today. And the way the book is laid out, I am sure we're going to get a lot of use from this one. So we hope this video blessed you. We hope it was encouraging. Today's question of the day, and I ask you to leave your answer in the comments section. What are some items you make, do, or wear out? We don't think of that all the time, but what are some items that you make do with or wear out completely? Share that with us. Share with our viewers. It's just another way we can encourage each other here on the channel. Your comments are gold. So thank you for being here again. We ask that you please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. By all means, leave us a comment. Remember, we love you. We ask you to stay safe. We ask you to be well. And above all, we wish you blessings. And stay tuned because Dixie the Diva is now in a different position sleeping. This dog does nothing but sleep the whole winter. But you all love her, so here she is. Until our next video, bye-bye. Good morning, sweet girl. Dixie, you just got up from bed, had breakfast, and you're going back night-nights now? Are you going back night-nights?